Hello and welcome to a look at Smash TV for the Commodore 64, a Williams Electronics Games arcade original that was converted by Probe and released by Ocean. Now, if you paid attention to the intro, you will likely have some sort of idea of the concept behind this game, but I will still give a rundown. The year is 1999 and the most popular game show available is called Smash TV, in which contestants join in order to have a chance at winning some extensive prizes. But of course, the downside to that is if they fail, they lose their life. So, not necessarily a gamble I personally would want to take, but I mean, whatever. People can do, of course, what they want to do. You take control of one such contestant and you are placed in an enclosed arena with several connecting rooms, and your objective is to move from the beginning of the arena to the end part where you'll be facing off against the boss, and then of course picking up prizes on the way. The game features a total of 3 arenas, each with their own set of enemies and other obstacles that will try to prevent you from progressing. As you start the game, you are in possession of a rather wimpy weapon that you need to use to fend off various different enemies, but thankfully the game will randomly from time to time throw various different power-ups into or onto the game field that you can try and pick up. Of the power-ups available, you have various different weapon types, like the classic tri-shot, or grenades, or the super shot, which is effectively a rocket launcher that will penetrate any enemy it hits. And then you have things like extra lives and smart bombs, and my personal favorite, which is disc that sends out rotating blades that spins around you that will cut through most enemies, but not all of them. Of the enemies, you have various different grunts, you could call them, which are basically androids that will try to home in on you and smack you about. But then you also have things like the Shrapnel Man, which is an enemy that will just walk across the screen doing nothing and then blow himself up. And of course that will spread shrapnel across the screen that you need to try and avoid. Besides that, you will also be facing things like tanks, which, as you can imagine, if you do not have a weapon upgrade, is going to take quite a bit of punishment before they decide to explode. The various different screens will also feature an increasing number of mines, and the game is not generous enough to let you detonate those mines while you're shielded, so it is an obstacle type that you have to be mindful of, because of course not only does the game throw power-ups on the screen, it will also throw various different bonuses that you can try and pick up, and sometimes they are right on top of mines, which is something that is always exciting to discover the hard way. If we quickly go over the interface, there's not an awful lot of interface to go over, to be honest. You have your score, and underneath that you have some pips which will indicate the ammunition for your current special weapon. And to the right of that you have your lives. And that is all there is to it. Something that can be incredibly challenging to remember is the fact that those lights are not solid objects. You can walk across your score and your life box. Maybe it was just me that sucked, but I kept trying to avoid those indicators for some reason, thinking they were solid objects, which they are not. From a graphical point of view, this is most assuredly nowhere near what the arcade original offers, but that is not to be expected. That would be perhaps a bit optimistic. But what the game does give you graphically is very clean, easily identifiable sprites, so you can easily tell what is what, and what to avoid, and what to pick up, and what to shoot at. So in that regard, I think the graphics work exceptionally well. Considering how busy the screens can be at times, there is a slight amount of slowdown, but nothing excessive, and it actually surprised me quite a bit that the game didn't start slowing down more than it did. Music. The main music is the introduction music, and it is a hip little tune. I don't really think it's particularly associated with the arcade original, but as a home computer version it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's fairly decent in its own way. Personally, I could take it or leave it, but I will not deny that the quality is quite decent. The sound effects are relatively simple, but they fulfill the purpose they have, and I, in general, find the sound effects to be very satisfying and very fitting for the game. The controls, thankfully you can tie your controls to one joystick, but you have the option to split the controls, so you move with keys and fire with the joystick, or move with the joystick and fire with the keys. Because of the arcade original had two joysticks, one you used for movement and one you used for shooting, which should of course will be very equivalent to dual stick controls on more modern games. But personally, I hate the concept of dual controls, and having the ability to not make use of that is definitely welcome. Left, right, up, down will do exactly that, and the fire button will be used to shoot stuff. And everything works exceptionally well, very responsive, very smooth. No complaints at all in regards to the controls. While this particular conversion doesn't contain certain of the whistles and bells that the arcade original has, you would probably be a bit optimistic expecting such. You could be slightly disappointed that this particular conversion does not have a two-player simultaneous mode as the arcade original has, but it definitely captures the essence of what the arcade original stands for, which is an action game. Nothing more and nothing less. And I do enjoy the fact that this game is not trying to pretend to be something that it isn't. Sometimes it's nice just kicking back and grabbing hold of your plastic joystick, wiggle it about a bit and smacking the fire button a few thousand times in order to make things on the screen disappear. And in that regard, personally, I find that this conversion fulfills that need perfectly fine. On that note, thanks for watching and take care, and see you next time. Bye bye for now.